We've all had past trauma, perhaps, as a kid or even as an adult. We've all had past trauma in our lives. I don't know one person that didn't have any traumatic experience growing up, even when they're full grown adults. Whether it be from your childhood or maybe even past lovers, past relationships that we've had before. With the wounds that it has created with us, we attract people that even worsen it. It gets worse with the more people that we meet because of that past trauma that we haven't moved on. In relationship, we have this term called rebound, that we use someone else to get over another one, and that turns out to be far even worse. And it's rarely a good thing. I know some people can say, hey, this guy has been my rebound, but we got married. For some, there are good stories, but for a lot, it's been bad. And we move from one type of abusive relationship to another one, and with growing hatred for ourselves and the opposite sex at the same time. It often leads to what I've noticed, number one, is substance abuse, whatever it is, drugs, alcohol, and anything really bad that does to not just our body, but in our minds as well. Not everyone would like to admit to their wound. I'm sure if I asked you in the comment section to leave what wounds left for you, you probably would not be happy or glad, or you'd be reluctant to talk about it. But we all need some help because we're all humans. I'm not talking to an AI right now. You are human. We are also raised by humans. We're not raised by animals. We are evolved beings, and we are surrounded by humans as well. It's just inevitable that we all are going to interact with humans again. And humans by nature are imperfect. There's no perfect in the sense of being a human being. There's no perfect human being. There's bound to be mistakes that would leave scars with us. And these scars are invisible. This topic in this episode of Coach Antonio would be something that could help you heal from trauma. And if you're ready, let's go on with 6 important points that I want to share with you. Let's get the hardest one out of the way, which is talking about it. Talking about our past trauma in life. It's hard to share your past trauma because for fear of rejection and being alienated from other people because of what happened to us, because we feel that we are damaged goods. We feel that people are gonna say, don't talk to him or don't talk to her because that person is damaged. You don't want to touch that person. It's hard. It's difficult. Let's get that hard part out of the way. The more you keep them in, the more it affects your growth. It stunts your growth because you're afraid, because there's something behind you that's been holding you back. It stunts your growth. So the less you trust people, the more your growth will just come to a halt, and you don't want that. And the harder it is for you to forgive yourself and the one that abused you. Find someone you can trust. Find someone you can talk to or comfortable with to talk about it. And if you are a person who's listening to someone that's gone through trauma, just be someone that's there to listen. They're not looking for someone to give them advice. Just be there and be there for them to be a listener, not want to give them advice. You're in no position to give anyone advice when it comes to their trauma. So just be a listener. That's number one. The next thing I want to point out is this. You did not know any better, or you didn't know, and it's okay that you didn't know. You blame yourself for not doing enough at the time that you were abused, whatever kind of abuse that is. This is the cause of primarily those who are in AA, or Alcoholics Anonymous, or substance abuse, or in people who are in rehab. It acts as a coping mechanism. It numbs away the pain of the past that happened to you. You drink away your problems, or you drug away your problems because you want to numb yourself from that feeling that you had before. Letting go of what you could have done to avoid it will give you the freedom that you actually wanted all along. Next point that I want to point out here is this one is very difficult as well. Forgiving your abusers. I know this will take time, but forgiving your abusers would do you good a lot more. Knowing that you were the prisoner of that person, you are the prisoner of your own thoughts as well. Forgive your parents, forgive your abusive, relative, forgive your abusive ex-partner or relationship, forgive your ex. Give them the grace that they deserve because they understand that they're only humans with imperfections. They are damaged goods as well, just like like us, just like anyone else. Because the grudge you hold will have you attracting more people who are abusive. I've had a student and she is in another abusive relationship, and this time it's her fourth abusive relationship. It's a pattern. She likes being physically and verbally abused by this person, and she now has 4 children with 4 different men. And even if you tell her that get away from it, it's her choice. And this is one point that I'm trying to say. People are in these relationships because they chose to, not because they don't want to. It's not their choice. It is their choice to be in that. And we're not in the position to judge them by the relationships that they choose to be in. I can't say anything about it anymore. These cases happen to a lot of people, and people don't even talk about it. And that's one of the reasons why I want to talk about trauma. Forgive your abusers. Fourth one that I want to talk about is to be thankful for the past trauma. Instead of being hateful or regretful, be thankful for it. Why? Because it might seem a bit ridiculous for you, but this mindset kills what we call the familiar victim mentality that most people have. And this is a skill that's really bad that you've developed over time, that you're always playing the victim, that you're in an abusive relationship because you're a victim. For example, you see the experiences as to help other people struggling with the trauma instead. So you change your mindset of being a victim to someone that learned from it instead. So that's number 4. Be thankful for it. Next thing is to be community-oriented. And this is a very important one. People will strengthen other people, not things. It's going to be people. People help people. And there are people who are really helpful to other people. Isolation is really bad. Isolation is horrible for someone that's been in past trauma. We're not created to be alone. We're created to socialize with other people in the same avenue as us. Join communities, play sports, go to churches, go to the gym. Be in circles of people who will uplift you, not bring you down even further. Your wounded self will eventually thank you if you do that. That's why there are groups wherein they talk about their addictions, AA, for example, or in rehab as well. They go into circles wherein they talk about their experience and they're not being judged about it. It's good that you're around communities that will help you get away from your past trauma or forget the past trauma and be done with it. And lastly, I think this is the most important part, which is I don't know what kind of relationship you have with the one above, but whatever religion you have, it's important to connect with the one above. I don't want to say God or Jesus or whoever you say, but connect with the one above or that you feel is superior to all of us. I don't know. If you're Muslim, maybe Allah. Depends on you. It really helps. Why? Because many times we lack the confidence to share these things with people. When people are not willing to listen to us, there's always someone above us that's listening. And He always listens. Maybe you think He's not listening, but maybe He's just redirecting you to something else, a better purpose, or you being able to create your own purpose as well. So that's it. I hope I was able to give you some, again, I don't want to say it's tips, but just points for you to ponder on with regard to any past trauma that you've had. If you had some past trauma, don't leave it in the comment section. I'd like to know more about your past experiences. You can send me a text message, 0998-994-1104, or you can send me an email, info@antonioaguirrejr.com. You don't need to tell me your name. Just tell me your past experience and whatever it is that's holding you back and such, and let's talk. I'll see you again the next episode. Peace.